To you, Sir Sadiq Khan, when you say you left no stone unturned to bring justice to the grooming gang victims, I say, let's check the record.
What do you mean?
No, I'm saying, have we got any of those grooming gangs in London?
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
Because, Mr. Mayor, we were there from the start of this ungodly scandal. We were the ones you called malicious liars, remember?
This man is a threat to the safety of vulnerable young children.
So for the people of London, let's run the tape back so that everyone is clear exactly what the man in power and his police force did or didn't do. So you'll remember, Mr. Mayor, when asked about grooming gangs in 2020, you praised the work bringing gangs to justice in the north of England, but gave no answer on whether they existed in London. Then last year came the viral moment that changed everything.
I'm saying, have we got any of those grooming gangs in London?
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out. Are you not listening? It's the sort of gangs that groom young girls at a young age for sex. Exactly how much clearer do you want me to be?
But you weren't alone in denying there was an issue, were you? A month after that clash at the Assembly, your Metropolitan Police Commissioner, Sir Mark Rowley, was asked by Lord Bailey of Paddington whether the force was missing something when it came to organised child sexual exploitation. He said it was something that they weren't seeing.
Are we very sure that we don't have a significant problem around child sexual exploitation gangs?
I can't guarantee.
I'm not asking for a guarantee.
No, I know you're not. I can't guarantee there's something that out there that we haven't seen.
Right.
We know now, Mr. Mayor, at the same time that you were denying this problem existed, your police force was passing hundreds of cases to the Home Office. They'd been asked to do this by the Home Secretary the same month that you said you were confused by Susan Hall. But Mr. Mayor, when she raised the topic again 5 months later, the response was even more definitive.
And I choose my words carefully for the reason she'll understand. There's no reported cases, but also no indication of the grooming gangs that she's concerned about in London.
But you didn't stop there, did you, Sir Sadiq? Despite the Home Secretary's review already racking up more than 1,000 cases, you told us there was no chance a single one came from London. I have no indication of them being in London, was what you said. And maybe that would have been the end of that. Except this was when we started to investigate. Last September, the retired Metropolitan Police detective turned whistleblower, John Wedger, made contact with the Express. He came with a story about how efforts to investigate grooming gangs in London in the mid-2000s were shut down by senior officers.
The cover-ups of the grooming gangs in these provincial towns does go on because I've experienced it, and it's police corruption. What I did was proactive. I didn't wait for child prostitutes to come knocking on my door saying, please help me, although that did happen. And when it did, my superiors told me, ignore them, they're liars.
I looked through his police notebooks and reports from the time. What they showed was clear. There was substantial evidence that children were being exploited in care homes in Haringey, North London, in a pattern that was grimly familiar to the scandals in Rochdale and Rotherham. We also dug into his evidence provided to the previous inquiry, detailing numerous police investigations and victim case studies related to organised child sexual abuse. When we showed Wedger the footage of your clash with Susan Hall, Mr. Mayor, he was furious.
He should be removed immediately. This man is a threat to the safety of vulnerable young children. He is the donkey that is leading the lions.
He called for you to resign right then and there, and the survivor we also tracked down was equally appalled. But you weren't having any of it, were you? Your spokesperson didn't just brush it off. They suggested we were lying. Let's just repeat the exact words. You said the story was false, malicious, and politically motivated. At the exact same time that you were issuing that denial to us, My London was doing their own digging. They asked every single one of the 32 London Borough Councils if they had any grooming gang investigations. The result? Just one, Hounslow. And even then, the council stalled and minimised, trying to brush it off as a case relating to a single child. So the Express and My London teamed up. We wanted to test whether your total rejection of the problem could really be true. As we dug into the public records, it quickly became clear that far from there being no indication of grooming gangs in London, the evidence was hiding in plain sight. Looking right at the Metropolitan Police inspection reports and witness statements from Judge Alexis Jay's inquiry, we found 11 potential victims of grooming gangs right here in the capital. We took this to the experts, Rochdale whistleblower detective Maggie Oliver and Care sector campaigner Chris Wilde. The 15-year-old girl coerced to go to a hotel.
100% for me. For me, that is unambiguous.
Given drugs and alcohol, made to carry out sexual acts on men.
That is the pattern that I have seen in grooming gangs.
Their verdict, the case is absolutely past the threshold. Maggie Oliver even said that 3 of the instances were typical of the exact same grooming she'd investigated in Greater Manchester. And the real kicker, Mr. Mayor, you had read and responded to every single one of those inspection reports. Maggie Oliver called your stance that there was no indication of gangs unbelievable.
I want to see somebody in a high place held criminally responsible.
Chris Wilde went further. Who or what are they protecting, he asked. Your official response to these findings? More denials. Neither you nor the Met altered your position. There was no sign of it in London. But then, all of a sudden, the script flips. Just 24 hours after we approached you for comment, Sir Mark Rowley got a sudden, highly unusual off-topic question from Labour's Len Duval at the London Assembly.
Quick question, but you may not be able to answer this. It's to do with child grooming and sexual exploitation.
Suddenly, the party that blocked the London inquiry and wouldn't touch the topic of group-based child sexual exploitation wanted to talk.
Historic cases, so stage 1 of the national piece of work is to look back at a certain time period. The number of cases is going to be very significant. If we were to sort of do a full investigative review and reinvestigations of them all, that is going to be many, many, many millions of pounds to be able to do that.
In a stunning U-turn, the Commissioner went from saying he wasn't seeing it to admitting a very significant number of cases were actually being reviewed by the Home Office. The pressure mounts. Talk of a cover-up hits other titles. And then, late on a Friday, we see a letter from Sir Mark to you, Sir Sadiq. It tells us that 9,000 historic investigations have been identified as needing reassessment. And then, Mr. Mayor, your spokesperson starts telling us that you'd been pushing for transparency the whole time. Sadiq has consistently been clear to the Met that no stone must be left unturned in pursuing justice for the victims of grooming gangs, were the exact words. Then comes your exclusive TV interview.
Girls and women's is an incredibly important issue, and my thoughts are always with the victims and seeing what we can to improve the service that women generally receive.
You promised to be completely transparent, but suddenly you start talking about the ethnicities of victims and perpetrators in northern towns, claiming those horrific cases aren't what we see in London, that it's more complex. Let's be clear. For years, you and the UK's largest police force went out of your way to avoid even saying the words grooming gangs in public communications. And now you claim to have been fighting this insidious threat the whole time. But it only happened after our investigation kicked down the door. After we pointed at the truth that had lay in plain sight the whole time. So, Mr. Mayor, when you tell the people of London that you left no stone unturned, I ask you, what does the record say? Is this a moment of reckoning? The grooming gangs inquiry is looking at your patch, London. So maybe, just maybe, we'll finally get some answers about what you knew and when you knew it. You've been watching The Express Report. I'm Zak Garner-Purkis. Remember, when they told you real journalism died, they lied.